In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get prospects literally begging you to give you money. I'm going to reveal my secret weapon for closing deals in 60 minutes or less. So by the end of this video, you guys are going to learn exactly how to get prospects literally begging you to give you money to help them out and join your program or sign up for your consulting, coaching, agency services. They will literally be asking you, how can I pay? How much is it? What am I buying? I don't care. Let's get started. So I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how to master the ancient art of the one call close. So I'm going to show you my secret weapon to closing anywhere from $5,000 to $42,000 consulting deals in literally 60 minutes or less, regardless of who your market is or how big your price tag is. So this exact same thing works anywhere from honestly, it could work anywhere from like 1,000 and above, or pretty much whatever you're selling. Seriously, because it's based on foundational human psychology principles. So that said, what I'm sharing with you guys here today, just to kind of drill this home a little bit. Here's one of the clients that I've been working with very closely and really helping him refine the sales process. So he's one of our clients inside Consulting Blueprint, and he sells a 5K price tag. So I taught him this concept, he implemented it, and this is what happened literally on his next call. He said another close, 5K deal. Said any key takeaways, and he said, she was like, shut the F up, how much does it cost and what am I paying for? That's what we want to instill in the minds of our prospects towards the end of the sales call, when they're completely sold and they don't even care how much it costs, what they're buying. They want what you got, right? And then this was just a couple days ago as well. Another client, I'm 2 for 2 so far this week, 10K in sales, and it's 2 p.m. on Monday. So before we get into it though, let's do a quick recap as to why people buy consulting, coaching, agency services, pretty much any service-based business. Why do people buy what you have? So it's very important to understand that the prospect is on the call with you for a reason, for a good reason, right? Right now, as it stands, their current situation is not their desired situation, right? They're not where they want to be in their life and business, and that's why they're getting on a call with you, because there's a bit of a distance, there's a separation between where they are and where they want to be, and we call this the gap, right? There's their current situation, their point A. There's their desired situation, their point B, where they are right now and where they want to be. Now, the reason they're on the call with you is because they see you, your services, or your company as a potential bridge or a vehicle to help them cross that gap, to get them from where they are to where they want to be, right? And they're there to see if you can help them make that leap. And that said, how do we actually get them to make a buying decision and purchase on the call, right? Because we all hate follow-ups. I've heard it literally a million times after talking to, I don't even know how many prospects at this point, but they say, yeah, it sounds great. Like, I'm totally on board. They give you a verbal yes, and then they don't buy on the call. You set up a follow-up call, or sometimes you don't, and then you literally never hear from them again, and they ghost you, and then maybe you talk to them a year later, and they're literally stuck in the exact same spot because they didn't make the purchase that they know they need to make, because you can actually help them out. But anyways, getting back into it, guys. How do we actually get them to make a buying decision? We make this gap as damn big as we can, right? We want to really just stretch that and really just create a clear contrast between where they are and where they want to go. So that way they're feeling that, like, maybe I can actually get there on my own. Maybe I am actually further away than I thought I was, right? So what we're kind of doing is it kind of looks like this, right? We want to get them in their minds to really reveal that, like, maybe I am actually way back here. I thought I was a little closer to where I want to go, but maybe I'm a little bit further away than I thought. And maybe this is a bit more of a stretch too, right? The bigger the gap, the more pain, or the more likely they are to actually get help to make that leap, right? So on the one side, because people buy with emotion and justify with logic, we need to tap into the emotional side with our questions to get them to actually buy. But then we also need to make a rock solid, airtight, bulletproof, logical case that what we have can logically get them there. But then the reason they're actually going to pull the trigger and give you their credit card is by tap into the emotional side of things, right? So on the one side, on the left, the current situation, we do that by digging into their pain to really show them that where they are right now is actually as bad as it is. Because one thing I've seen so many times, and it really pains me to see this, is when I'm speaking to somebody and their ego and their pride gets in the way, and they very clearly are not even close to where they want to get to. But in their minds, they're tricking themselves, they're confusing themselves, they're deluding themselves, and they're telling themselves secretly that they are making progress, even though they haven't gone anywhere in the last 6 months, and they're stuck, and they're just not willing to admit that for ego's sake, right? So that said, it's our job to kind of really bridge that gap and really separate it for them, because a lot of the time people's situations are actually a lot worse than they might think they are, right? Because if they continue doing the same things that clearly are not working for the next 6 months that they've been doing for the last 6 months, well, chances are in 6 months from now they're going to be in the same spot, stuck, and then you're going to have another conversation that goes pretty much the same thing, the same way. So anyways, the way I see it is actually like we're doing them a favor by doing this, because what we have can seriously change your life, right? If you're actually good at what you do, you'll have that confidence and that conviction in your voice, in your tonality, because you have such a good product or service, and that you know can actually help them out, right? So the way I see it is like we're doing them a disservice if they don't join us today, because they will continue doing things that don't work, and they will continue to stay stuck, right? So anyways, on the other side, with their desired situation over here, we do that by allowing them to cast a vision of what life will be like on the other side, right, when they reach their desired situation. So just to recap here, right, ask about their pain, ask about their dreams, and you're really just bridging that gap, or you're separating that gap so that way you can bridge it with your offer. So now that we understand the foundations as to why people buy, what our goals are on a sales call, which is to make that gap, here's my secret weapon. This is the moment you guys have literally all been waiting for, and I'm super excited to get into it. So this was actually brought up, the idea for this video was actually brought up in a comment on a video that I posted yesterday. So anyways, if you guys have any more topics you want me to hit, literally drop a comment below. Let me know what you want me to make a video of, and I will make a video about that. So anyways, it's called the pain funnel. This is my secret weapon. It is so good. And one of my buddies who I did role play sales calls with for about 6 months every single week last year when we were practicing sales, he is also a sales manager at a tech startup in San Francisco. And anyways, he makes a good amount of money, like $200-300K a year. And this was one of the resources that he gave me. So anyways, pain questions. Essentially, the pain funnel is a framework that allows you to extract more emotion from the prospect, leading them to become more likely to make a buying decision on the call with you. So in other words, in English, what this means is that by asking these questions and questions like this, what you're doing is you're creating that gap, and you're separating it even further. So here's a few examples of some questions you can ask, but really you can see it kind of like it takes a wide concept or a topic, and now you're really funneling down into the pain, right? The deeper you go, the more pain there is. So when you ask a question about something, collecting some data point, and you uncover a bit of a pain point, then you're like, oh, tell me more about that. Can you be more specific? Give me an example, right? How long has this been a problem? What have you tried to do about that? Did that work? How much do you think this has cost you? How do you feel about that? Have you given up trying to deal with the problem? So now what this is doing is it's really just driving home the point. And like the more questions we ask, the more they talk, the more they're going to tell us about how bad their situation is, which is better for everybody, right? So let's look at some examples here, right? For example, if you are an online business owner and you want to book more sales calls, right? But you're struggling. So some examples of questions, or like you help people book more sales calls, and you're on the phone with somebody and they're struggling to book sales calls, then here's how to kind of use this in action. And I feel like giving you guys some real life examples will help actually give some context. So anyways, booking sales calls. You help people book sales calls. Somebody's on there, they are struggling to book calls and they don't know how, and they may be booking like one a week or like a couple a month. and they're trying all these different things. It's not working, right? Like, oh, okay. So you can start out with a question, just something along the lines of like, okay, so like, how do you get clients right now? Or how are you booking calls right now? Walk me through your marketing process. And then they'll walk you through it. Be like, okay, like, one of my favorite questions is, okay, so how many calls a week are you taking? How many calls a week or how many calls a day are you taking right now? Chances are it's not going to be as many as they want. So they're going to be like, oh, like maybe one a week or like 3 a week, something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, tell me more about that. Like, how long has that been a problem for? What have you tried to do about that? Right? I'm sure I'm probably not the first guy you've spoken with to try and fix this problem. Like, what have you got to do about it? And they're going to say, oh, well, I tried some cold email and stuff. Okay, how did that work? Or like, did that work? Chances are it's no, right? And then, okay, so like, because like, like what I'm hearing is it sounds like you've really been struggling to book sales calls. Like, how much do you think this has cost you in terms of like lost business? Like, let's say you were able to book like one call a day very consistently, and like you're closing 20%, so you're closing like one client a week. Like, how much in terms of revenue every month do you think this is costing you? And then they'll tell you, be like, oh, 10, 20 grand or something like that. Like, oh, okay, like, how do you feel about that? Or like, something like that, right? Have you given up trying to deal with the problem? Or is that what we're trying to solve here? And now you're really just like drilling down into getting them to really just talk about the problem and admit that they are in a not very good situation. So that's an example for helping people book sales calls. Another one is, let's go like weight loss, right? So another thing to note as well is like one of my favorite questions asked is like, oh, what do you mean by that? And now like that is just such a wide open question to just like funnel in the pain. And it's good stuff. But anyways, losing weight, right? So you help people lose weight. So you could say like, okay, so like tell me about like your nutrition plan, right? How many calories do you eat every single day? They're like, oh, I don't know, I don't really track. Like, oh, okay, like what kind of foods do you eat? And then they'll tell you, oh, you know, like this and that. Like, oh, tell me more about that. Or can you be a bit more specific? Like, give me an example. And then to kind of funnel it down here, like you could ask a pointed question, something along the lines of, okay, like, do you think this is helping you lose weight? Or like, I mean, you could say something along the lines like, okay, so it kind of sounds like you know you should be eating better, but you're kind of struggling to actually, like, to not eat the foods that are not good for you, right? And be like, yeah, I guess so. Okay, like, how long has this been a problem for? Like, what have you tried to do about that, right? Did that work? How much do you think this would cost you? Maybe like talk about like their appearance. People like it's just a fact that more attractive people tend to typically do better in life, and that's a psychology thing. Like it's a fact. Look it up. But maybe it would be future costs, right? Healthcare expenses. Maybe you could save them a lot of time at the end of their life if they take care of their body right now and lose weight, right? You can avoid like heart attacks, you can avoid like heart disease, all this stuff. Or like, how do you feel about your weight, right? Have you given up trying to lose weight? So you guys can see, I hope you guys can see how it really just funnels down into like latching onto a specific pain point and then digging into it, right? The deeper you dig, the more emotion you bring to the surface. And because we all know that emotion is what causes people to buy, then the more likely they are to buy from you. So I literally use this exact same thing to sell like literally up to $42,000 consulting deals, and it works extremely well. Like the closing rate on those are absolutely insane because I just dig into it. But the same process that I've literally sold like $500 a month like agency retainers like way back when I was starting the agency, my first business. But now like selling consulting and coaching and stuff like that, we don't go anything less than like 5 to 10K. So it really depends. Like it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't depend on who you're selling or what your price tag is. It works in all sorts of different things. Here's another one of our clients, right? Well, actually, that's kind of the end of the pain funnel. But what this led to me creating is the Iceberg Framework, right? So this is actually something I'm pretty sure I came up with it. But anyways, it really just visualizes the whole process, the whole sales process extremely well. And I've taught this to a few of our clients that are inside the consultant blueprint. For example, selling it right now, like I showed them this on the call. I walked them through the Iceberg Framework when we were reviewing a sales call together. And anyways, he said, dude, thank you so much for a great call yesterday. Can't wait to apply this. We'll keep you updated on these next couple calls. You're a genius. And then not too long after, he had a $5,000 day. And then this was literally just like 3 days into this month. He said, so far I have 3 clients signed this month. Or it was about a weekend. Three clients signed so far this month. And his price tag is about, I think it's like $3,500, something like that. He had a fever last few days, but this month is going to be the month. He's going to hit 20K month, 100%. Like it's already done this month. But anyways, if you guys want me to make another video about this, let me know. If you found value in this video, drop a comment down below. Let me know it was helpful. Obviously, like and subscribe too. But if you want me to make a separate video about the Iceberg Framework, the exact thing that I helped Selna implement into his business to really just skyrocket and like literally knocking on 20K months this month, comment Iceberg down below. And if I get, I don't know, let's say like 5 comments in the next week or so, I'll make a new video on that, and then we'll go from there. So anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and follow me over on Instagram too, Jeremy_Pogue, and let me know that you watched this video and it was helpful, because I really appreciate that, and it makes me want to continue making these videos for you guys, because I wish that I had this kind of stuff when I was going through this journey myself. So anyways, I'll see you in the next video.